right here. At home. Protect your out. We put the work in. Let's finish. Come on, man. Let's do this. Family up here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
You see, we dream chase, because that's all we was given to start with. Then we realized the dream was obtainable. Now look at us.
What's going on, Eagles Nation and TMTP family? Welcome back to another episode here on the Main Thing Podcast Presents. It's your bull, Mr. Owns. And after further review, the call stands. I'm still official with no stripes. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, thank you again for tapping back in with the Main Thing Podcast Presents. Your presence and your time here with us truly is appreciated. Now, look, I'm just going to go ahead and say this off the rip. Go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off. This has been one of the heaviest Eagles news weeks we've had in a very long time here in the city of Philadelphia. And it's not because any loud drama, something that we've been used to in the past. It's not because any clickbait chaos, but it's real organizational movement, the kind that actually shapes the future. So today isn't just about hot takes. It's about understanding what's happening, why it's happening, and what it tells us about the direction of our Philadelphia Eagles. Because if you're just into reading headlines, you're truly missing out on the real story. But before I dive into all of that, to our loyal supporters, thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all know it's all love. The Main Thing Podcast Presents can't happen without the support from y'all. And to our new supporters, welcome to the community and our family. Let's continue to do our part for the community and our family. Please continue to like the videos. It does help with the visibility of our channel in the algorithm. Disrespect that comment section. Share and subscribe to the community and our content. And make sure to turn on them noties. And keep your ears and eyes peeled to the streets like your local neighborhood watch. Wow. So you don't miss when me and Big Huss drop this pressure on y'all. So look, let's start with the news that hit home the hardest. Jeff Stoutland. Yes, that Jeff Stoutland is leaving the Philadelphia Eagles, and it feels very personal because it is. Jeff Stoutland wasn't a coach that just bounced after 2 seasons. This is someone who helped define an era of Eagles football. For years, when people talked about our Philadelphia Eagles, they talked about dominant offensive lines, physical run games, and development over a player's draft status. And that was Stoutland. And here's where nuance matters. This wasn't about a disagreement. This wasn't about one bad season. Over the course of this year, as the offense stalled, Nick Sirianni stepped in more heavily. That's his job as a head coach. And look, I have no issues there, okay? But as Sirianni and Kevin Patullo started adjusting run concepts late in the season, Stoutland felt increasingly removed from decisions that directly impacted his unit. And that's the part that people gloss over. When you're labeled a run game coordinator, but the run game is being redesigned without your full input and intel, the title stops meaning what it's supposed to mean. That creates a disconnect and some friction in an organization. It's not anger, it's not bitterness, but just a reflection. Stoutland reportedly reached a point where he questioned whether his role still aligned with his standards. And if it didn't, he wasn't just going to stay around just to stay around. And that's a person who knows their integrity, they hold themselves accountable, and they hold themselves to the utmost highest regard and standard. This kind of feels like to me with Nick Sirianni and Kevin Patullo, we all been in school and some of y'all are still in school, but you know when the schoolgirls and the schoolboys, it's the popular kids, and a new kid comes into the school and the popular kids try to take them under their wing, and they start to learn information, personal information about them, like where they moved from, their parents, their siblings, the type of sports they're like, the type of video games, all that type of jazz, right? And they befriend them and they stay friends with them the whole entire year. So the new kid feels included at this school and with the popular kids. But then when the next school year rolls around, those same popular kids that took the new kid underneath their wing, they start to act brand new. They start to distance themselves. They start to not share information about parties and little outings that kids get into. That is kind of what this situation reminds me of, because Jeff Stoutland has been here longer than Nick Sirianni and Kevin Patullo combined. He was a holdover from that disastrous Chip Kelly regime in 2013. And we see how much Stoutland has meant not only to this organization, but the city of Philadelphia. And if these reports are true, I'm looking at Nick Sirianni with a major side eye, because you don't do that to an established positional coach and one of the best, if not the best positional coaches in the NFL. It just seems like you just disregarded him. You didn't care about his feelings. You didn't care about his thoughts, especially after the lackluster performance we had on offense in 2025. And Saquon Barkley coming off of an historical run in 2024 with Jeff Stoutland being the run game coordinator. It just feels unauthentic. It just feels it was so much disrespect that happened. And as I've said before, if this report is true, I am looking at Nick Sirianni, because he has become an issue. No matter how much he wins here, he has been an issue. And we could kind of tie that into our offensive coordinator search, what took so long as well, because a lot of people didn't want to come and work under Nick Sirianni. But then also, I want to add on to the point that maybe, just maybe, when our Super Bowl winning MVP quarterback, QB1, Arthur Juan K, Devontae Slim Reaper Smith, Dallas Goedert, the offensive line, and Saquon Barkley voiced their frustrations and displeasures with the direction of the offense last season, it probably fell on deaf ears, because if Nick Sirianni did that to Jeff Stoutland, who is league-wide respected, I can only imagine what he did to his players last season and to our fan base. So, Nick Sirianni, we appreciate what you do, but you got to get your act right, man. You got to tighten up, straighten up, because this year truly, truly matters here in Philadelphia and where the direction of our organization will go to. Now, before anyone spins this the wrong way, this is where respect comes in. Jeff Stoutland gave this organization everything he had. He developed linemen that outperformed their draft status. He helped anchor Super Bowl runs, and he created a standard that other teams try to copy and emulate. And sometimes when organizations evolve, the hardest part is realizing that two good things can no longer coexist the same way that they did in the past. This wasn't failure. This was honesty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. So if you're an Eagles fan who truly understands football, not just for the results, but the process, you say thank you. And from the Main Thing Podcast Presents family, we say thank you for the standard, thank you for the culture, and thank you for never cutting corners. Jeff Stoutland will leave Philadelphia with his legacy secure. And for the final time, Coach Stout out. But hopefully he's able to stick around the organization. It's been some rumors regarding that. But if he's not with us next season, we wish him and his family the best of luck. And also for your future endeavors, Coach Stout. Now, here's a story that didn't get loud, but it does matter here in Philadelphia. Vic Fangio considering retirement wasn't a rumor. It was very real. And when you think about the timing, roster construction, the defensive identity, the young players that have been developing under Vic Fangio, losing Fangio would have been a massive shift here with the Philadelphia Eagles. But here's the important part. The Eagles didn't panic. They had a plan. Jonathan Gannon's name coming up tells you something. The bridge wasn't burnt the way fans think. And two, the organization still respects his defensive mind. Now, me personally, I've been out on Jonathan Gannon. I want nothing to do with Jonathan Gannon. I don't even want to say his name because he rubbed us the wrong way here in Philadelphia, being sneaky with the information that he had, taking interviews with the Arizona Cardinals, and not being forefront with the Philadelphia Eagles during that process. So when he did that, I didn't want anything to do with Jonathan Gannon. And I'm glad that we did not retain Jonathan Gannon and bring him back to Philadelphia. Good luck with you in your endeavors over with the Green Bay Packers. Now, Jim Schwartz, a name that we're familiar with, being the fact that he was the defensive coordinator in 2017 when we won our first Super Bowl here in Philadelphia. The Eagles were willing to pivot stylistically if needed. Pressure, aggression, and experience were valued. Why I kind of was hesitant and reserved on that one is because Vic Fangio ran man coverage at the third highest clip, I believe, last season. Now, Jim Schwartz doesn't really like to bring pressure and doesn't really like to run a lot of man coverage. And with the players that we have here in Philadelphia, I don't think that Jim Schwartz's defense would have fit the direction that we want our defense to go from this season on. Okay. Now, this does show maturity on the Philadelphia Eagles organization part, because good organizations don't react emotionally. They prepare structurally. But we do have some news on our new offensive coordinator, Sean Mannion. And look, supporters and family, this is where I need y'all to really lock in and focus up. All right. Sean Mannion is getting praise. Isn't about hype. It's about fit. The Eagles don't need a mad scientist cooking up chemicals and mixing all X chromosomes, Y chromosome, all that type of stuff for this offense right now. They need clarity for our Super Bowl winning MVP quarterback QB1, consistency on a week-to-week basis, something that we lacked in 2025 under Kevin Patullo. Better sequencing, not more plays. We saw that the play design, the play structure, the route concepts, the route designs, the run game, all of that folded in 2025 under Kevin Patullo. But see, this is where Sean Mannion understands quarterback psychology, being the fact that he was a former quarterback. He understands timing and rhythm that go into an offense, and he understands how to build answers into an offense instead of forcing improvisation, okay? This is about making the game easier and more simplistic, not about confusion. Sean Mannion is bringing in a familiar face from the Green Bay Packers, and why this hire matters more than people do realize, Mahaffey isn't just a position coach. Ryan Mahaffey, he is a connector. He's a former fullback, has an offensive line background, as well as some wide receiver development experience. This tells you that the Eagles want better run pass harmony, better blocking accountability from skill players, something that our skill players take and do with pride, as we've seen from year in and year out, and want more cohesion all across the position groups. This isn't a flashy and sexy hire. This is a functional hire, and function wins in January, something that we've been used to and accustomed to here in Philadelphia. Now, I was going around and scrolling around on Twitter, and I've been seeing that the salary cap has increased, and why this changes the chessboard here in Philadelphia. This is going to be an extra 22 million, and it just isn't all about money. It's about leverage. And what this means is, with Howie Roseman having this flexibility, extensions don't force cuts, depth isn't sacrificed, and free agency becomes more strategic, not desperate. And no team in football understands financial flexibility better than our Philadelphia Eagles. This doesn't mean reckless spending. It means just more options for Howard Roseman and company. But also, I saw a article saying that if there was no cap, 10 players that the Philadelphia Eagles would be interested in. And every name on this list tells a story. Brees Hall, running back with the New York Jets, and Kenneth Walker, who's going to be playing in the Super Bowl on Sunday, from the Seattle Seahawks. They are explosive, but all around and complete backs. George Pickens, somebody who I'm keeping my eye on, especially with the situation that's going on around Arthur Juan K. We might need a receiver to replace him, and that is somebody who I will be interested in, and we could turn the whole NFL and flip it on his head upside down if we're able to pull that off. Because we know how Jerry Jones plays around with contracts during the offseason. He doesn't want to franchise tag players. He doesn't want to give them what they're worth in a contract. So that is somebody who I will keep my eye on for sure. Alec Pierce from the Indianapolis Colts and Romeo Doubs from the Green Bay Packers. They are all vertical stressors. Somebody who will help. They will be people that help in our offense, especially Romeo Doubs, being the fact that he was in Green Bay with Sean Mannion. So it's already some familiarity with that. And we all know that the Eagles build connections off of familiarity. Kyle Pitts, we can bring him home to Philadelphia. We don't know what's going to happen with Dallas Goedert, but this will be a move where we can incorporate Kyle Pitts in our offense, and he will create matchup manipulation. Another person who I will be interested in, even if we are able to retain Dallas Goedert for one season, is my guy down in Baltimore, and that guy being Isaiah Likely. I think that he would do damage and create a lot of mismatches in our offense. So that is someone who I will be interested in filling the spot and the void of tight end one here in Philadelphia. Some other intriguing names are Trey Hendrickson, someone that we've been connected to since last season with the Cincinnati Bengals, edge rusher, and Agba Owe. And also we already have one person in-house who we cannot let get out of the building, and that is Jalen Phillips. What he did coming over to Philadelphia from the Miami Dolphins is nothing short of phenomenal. He came in the building from day one, understood what was needed from him, understood the defense, and you can see his impact on the field. And they offer pressure versatility. Someone else who I'll be interested in is Tyler Lindenbaum with the Baltimore Ravens, their center. He creates interior dominance. especially with Cam Jurgens battling injury and kind of regressing back in 2025. I would like to see some competition at center for this upcoming season. So Tyler Linderbaum would be a person that we should keep our eye on. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, this isn't about identity. This is not wish list football. These are players that will fit perfectly in Philadelphia and help us to get back to where we truly want to go, and where we deserve to be, and that is the Super Bowl. Now, this isn't any fluff, but we got to talk about some jersey sales because everybody always has this or that to say about the Eagles. They say the Eagles this, the Eagles that. But in reality, look, people just love the Philadelphia Eagles. Saquon Barkley at number 1 and QB1 at number 3 tells you we have star power here in Philadelphia. We have leadership, credibility, and also our market. It is trusted and thrusted into the limelight every single chance they have to put us. Players notice this, agents notice this, that the Philadelphia Eagles are a prime destination, and that is not going to change anytime soon. But look, y'all let me know down in the comments section some free agents that you all will possibly like to see here in Philadelphia, how y'all feel about the Jeff Stoutland, Nick Sirianni, and Kevin Patullo situation. Also, what y'all think that Sean Mannion will do regarding our offense in 2026. And finally, how do y'all feel about Vic Fangio? Were y'all scared? Because I was a little nervous when I heard that news. But Vic Fangio being back in the fold, how y'all feel about that? And if he was to leave, who would y'all consider for defensive coordinator? But right now, the Eagles aren't unstable. They're transitioning with intention. They're honoring the past, they're aligning the present, and they're protecting the future at all costs. And that's what grown-up organizations do. Now, look, before I get out of here, I pray that you all been having a blessed and great week. Please, if y'all haven't checked out our previous videos, me and Big Huss covered Sean Mannion and Josh Grizzard. Those are some good content to check out. Please make sure that you do. And then also, before I get out of here, I want to wish a special and important person in my life a very, very happy birthday. And I hope that you enjoyed this day. But look, to our loyal supporters, thank you. Y'all know it's all love. The Main Thing Podcast Presents can't happen without the support from y'all. And to our new supporters, welcome to the community and our family. Let's continue to do our part for the community and our family. Please continue to like the videos. It does help with the visibility of our channel in the algorithm. Disrespect that comment section. Share and subscribe to the community and our content. Last but not least, make sure you go ahead and hit that notification bell, also known as the Liberty Bell looking thingy, so you don't miss when Swoop comes out with the Eagles news and updates. But in case y'all forgot who I am, don't worry about it. I'll kindly remind you, I go by Mr. Owens, and this is the Main Thing Podcast Presents, where we keep the main thing the main thing. We look forward to reconvening with you soon. I hope you all take care and stay safe. But y'all already know it's always love.
It was I was gonna make a lot of money doing what I wanted to do. I went after it, and it was a struggle to achieve it. But you know what? I caught that bitch. Dream chasing.